you freaking kidding me? What is up guys, Austin here, welcome to the video, and today I'm going to be comparing two popular forms of training in the fitness industry. So first up we have is HIIT, or high intensity interval training, and then we have LISS, or low intensity steady state. And addressing the myth of can you actually burn 1,000 calories doing HIIT? And then HIIT is characterized by periods of high intensity work, followed by periods of rest to recover from that high intensity work, and then repeating that for intervals, if you will. And LISS is characterized by low intensity at a steady state rate. So you will start at a certain pace and then maintain that pace throughout the entire workout. So first up, we're going to be talking about HIIT and some of its pros. So a pro is that it can actually increase athletic performance. So a lot of the reasons why athletes use HIIT is because they want to improve their anaerobic capacity, which is the ability to sprint or generate a high amount of power for a period of a race or competition. So another pro is that it saves time. For training purposes, you can actually achieve a very high training stimulus by doing it in less time if you use high intensity interval training versus other forms of training. And so the final pro of HIIT that I'm going to be talking about is the epoch effect, or otherwise known as the afterburn effect. And this is the effect that you will be able to burn a little bit more calories after exercise versus doing steady state cardio alone. But this effect actually double dips in the cons, which I will be talking about a little bit later. And so now we're going to be moving over to the cons of HIIT. And so the first con of HIIT is that it will require more recovery because you're performing at a higher intensity. Your body will require more time to recover its muscles and the nervous system, which is not ideal if you're trying to do weightlifting at the same time, because HIIT and weightlifting use the anaerobic energy systems, which is the energy system that your body primarily uses to generate a high amount of energy in a short period of time. Another con of HIIT is that most people actually don't do it correctly. So HIIT actually requires that you perform at a rate that is greater than your VO2 max. And what your VO2 max is, it's the maximum rate at which your body consumes oxygen for a workout. And so HIIT, you actually have to go above that. You actually have to be going all out during your working periods. And for the average person, for the average workout that you can find on YouTube, you are not going anywhere near your VO2 max. And it's for this exact reason that proper HIIT programming requires a 1-to-5 work-rest ratio. And what a work-rest ratio means is that for every unit of work that you do, you have to take this much times amount of rest. So let's say for every 1 minute of high-intensity work that you do, you have to take 5 times as much rest. It's because that proper HIIT programming, you're actually going all out, that you have to be taking 5 times as much rest. And so about 99% of the workouts that you find on YouTube referring to HIIT workouts are actually not HIIT workouts because you don't go that hard. And for the average individual, they are not going that hard anyway. And so third con that I have listed here is also the epoch effect. So research shows that the epoch effect burns only an extra 6 to 15%. You heard that right. 6 to 15% more extra calories. And this averages out to about 10. So let's say you do about 30 minutes of high intensity interval training and you burn 300 calories. So an extra 10% of that is only 30 calories. So the epoch effect only accounts for an extra 30 calories. And I don't know about you, but I can easily eat 30 calories in less than a bite of food. And it's for this exact reason that the epoch effect is blown way out of proportion and doesn't make HIIT cardio that much more better than low intensity steady state. And so this brings me to my next 2 points, is that this is not ideal for beginners because beginners usually do not have a good sense of what the limits of their bodies are. Because of that, a beginner should be going at a low or moderate pace or something they can handle, and should not be going all out if they are unfamiliar with exercise, because this can increase the risk of injury. And when you're injured, you're not able to work out, so that kind of defeats the purpose of working out to not be able to work out later. And now time to dive into the pros and cons of low intensity steady state cardio, or LISS. So the first pro I have here is that it is less taxing on the muscles and nervous system. So obviously working at a higher intensity will require more muscle activation and more conscious effort to recruit your muscles and coordinate them in a way to work at that higher intensity versus low intensity. Another thing is that time and time again, the research shows that working at a low or moderate intensity uses more fat as fuel rather than carbohydrates. And so this shows that the more low intensity or moderate intensity steady state cardio that you do, the better your body will become at burning fat. And so you will not be able to only lose fat, but be able to keep it off in the future if you keep up your cardio. Another pro is that there is a decreased risk of injury. So of course, when you're going at a lower or more moderate intensity, you don't have to work your muscles, you don't have to work your joints as hard, trying to go super hard or super fast. And of course, being injured less, you're going to be able to work out more and be able to make more gains throughout your time rather than sitting there being injured. Another pro is that it's easy for beginners. Anyone can hop onto the treadmill, hop onto the Stairmaster, hop onto the cycle, and start doing something at a low or moderate intensity. And so the last pro, likely the most important pro, is that you'll be able to burn more calories because you can go longer. And so the more calories that you can burn, of course, the more fat you'll be able to lose. Versus HIIT, where you're going to have to go so hard for only so long and you're not going to be able to work out and burn more calories later on. And so lastly, the only con, which I don't even know if I should consider a con, is that low intensity or moderate intensity steady state cardio takes more time. And so the research that was done shows that doing the same amount of high intensity versus low intensity cardio actually resulted in almost the same amount of calories burned per session. So overall, whether you choose high intensity or low intensity cardio, they will burn the similar amount of calories. So it's all up to personal preference. But my personal recommendations is that if you're doing weightlifting or any other high intensity activity already, definitely do not want to be incorporating high intensity interval cardio. This can definitely impact your recovery because you're trying to do high intensity all the time. So opting for a low intensity steady state cardio is definitely better if you're already doing a high intensity activity so you can recover but also maintain that cardiovascular fitness. If you are a beginner, I would also recommend doing low intensity or starting out at low or moderate intensity at first, because you definitely do not just want to jump into high intensity and risk injuring yourself or risk going way too hard. Because the last thing you want to do when you're starting out is to go super hard and destroy your body, be out for a week, and then not have the motivation to work out because you destroyed your body so hard last time that you don't want to go again. However, for people who want to do HIIT, I would definitely recommend this to athletes. The more experienced you are, the better you will be able to gauge your body and how hard it's going. And of course, the more experienced you are as an athlete, the more you will be able to manage your fatigue, and so you will be less likely to injure yourself while implementing HIIT cardio. Because of this, HIIT is actually perfect for athletes, especially those who are training to compete in a race or competition of sorts, trying to train for a marathon, trying to train for a cycling event, or any other event where you go for a long time and then you have to put in a huge intensity at the very end or something like that. And of course, these are my personal recommendations. Follow them with a grain of salt. Obviously, if you enjoy one form of cardio more than the other, then by all means follow the one that you enjoy more. The one you enjoy more, the one you will be more likely to follow and stick through for a long time and be able to see more results that way. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.